Hello, Space Cadets. Welcome back to the Space News Podcast. My name is Will, and today we're going to take a quick look at Under Armour, the clothing and shoe company, and how they're going to start making spacesuits and also train astronauts. But before I go into that, let's talk about Patreon, because I want to keep this podcast as ad-free as possible, and the only way that we can do that is through generous donations by contributors like yourself. So head on over to patreon.com/Space News Podcast, get your contribution in today, and help keep this podcast ad-free. Now, another way to support the pod is just by listening to it, also by subscribing, and by giving us a star rating on iTunes and also Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to your podcasts. That's the easiest way to do it. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting the pod so far. Now, let's get back to some Under Armour news here. Under Armour, they make clothing. They make stuff for athletes. They make stuff for normal people that aren't athletes. And now they're going to start producing clothing for astronauts. Under Armour and Virgin Galactic have made a partnership. And Virgin Galactic will get all of its clothing made through Under Armour. Now, that means astronauts will be fitted by Under Armour. These, the commercial flights that we're going to start taking here soon through Virgin Galactic, commercial space flights, tourist flights, if you will, everybody that's going to be on those flights is going to be wearing Under Armour astronaut suits. But not only suits, everyone's going to be trained by an Under Armour professional. There's going to be a training facility that you can go to and learn how to get more fit in order to go to space. Now, all of this news came to light through an interview with CBS this morning with Sir Richard Branson and Kevin Plank. Now, Kevin is the CEO of Under Armour, and Sir Richard Branson is the founder of the Virgin Group, which includes Virgin Galactic in it. And if you're not really sure with what Virgin Galactic does, they are the first company that are going to introduce space tourism to the normal folk. Now, they're going to be pretty expensive still, a couple $100,000 to get into space, but for a lot of people, that's reasonable. For me, I'm not going to space anytime soon. I'm just saying that right now. I'm not going to make it to a Virgin Galactic flight unless somebody gives me a freebie, because I don't have a couple extra $100,000 just laying around because I want to go to space. Now, that being said, if you do have a couple $100,000 and you do want to go to space, Virgin Galactic and Under Armour are going to make you look good. That's what Sir Richard Branson said on the CBS This Morning interview. He said you want to, the three things that are important: you get married, you have a kid, and you go to space, right? So those are the three things that are important. And during those times, you want to look good. So they partnered up with Under Armour, and Under Armour is going to make sure that you look good when you go to space, that you're safe when you go to space, and that you're comfortable when you go to space. And Kevin Plank, the CEO and founder of Under Armour, said that all of their technology that they use now, they're going to take that technology and some technologies that they're working on that they're almost ready to reveal are going to be integrated into this spacesuit that you'll be wearing when you go in a Virgin Galactic flight. Now, somebody that is going to space is Sir Richard Branson, and he talks about this in the interview as well. He talks about his workout routine, how he's getting ready to go to space, how he feels. He's gonna be 69 years old soon, but he's going to be in tip-top physical shape to get to space. And he's working on that now, and I'm sure the Under Armour people and him are going to be working on that together to get him in the best possible shape that he can get in. And speaking of getting into shape, Under Armour is going to set up a facility to get you ready. I already talked about that a little bit, but there's a little bit more information that will be shared soon about this facility and how it will get you into the right shape to get into Moon, because you got to be fit. You're going to be pulling on some G's here. And this is going to be a pretty intense thing when you fly yourself up into space, because the force that is pushed against you, you need muscle to counteract that force. And Virgin Galactic and Under Armour are going to be working closely together to get astronauts ready to get up into space and to do all the necessary checks before you do that. They're going to have, medical facilities and training facilities put in place so you can do that. And Richard Branson said that he wants to go up to space this year. 2019, Richard Branson said that he wants to launch himself into space via a Virgin Galactic spaceship, and he will be wearing the Under Armour spacesuit. And he'll be doing this from their launch facility in New Mexico after they have, I believe there's 3 more test flights until they move everything to New Mexico, and that's where Sir Richard Branson is going to take the inaugural flight to space. The founder of Virgin Galactic himself is going to put his money where his mouth is, and he's going to launch himself into space. Well, he's not going to launch himself. His crew is going to launch him into space, and he's going to test it. He's going to put his money where his mouth is. And even though Richard Branson's going up into space, Under Armour's facility for the normal folk, they have a couple $100,000 and they want to go to space. There's going to be a preparation and recovery program by Under Armour. And they're going to focus on mobility, strength, fitness, nutrition, and sleep. So before you go up, they're going to be working with you on all of those. And when you come back, they're going to be helping you continue recovery when you get back down to our planet Earth. So would you go to space if you had a couple extra $100,000 laying around? I would. I mean, it would be one of the best things ever. It would be a childhood and adulthood dream come true for me. And you know what else has been a dream come true? This podcast. So thank you so much for everybody that has helped support the pod in any way possible, either by listening to it, by subscribing to it, by sharing it, by going to our website, spacenewspodcast.com, or by donating on our Patreon at patreon.com. Space News Podcast. Patreon.com/Space News Podcast. I got that right the second time, not the first time. But that's it for today, guys. That's it for today, Space Cadets. This has been Space News. My name is Will, and I will see you soon.